Clark, we have a number of members of this audience who are big fans of the fair tax. So your thoughts on this concept and the best-selling book, and just to respond to that idea, then we'll go to Mr. Perriello.
Well, I think that I'm, of course, a fan of reforming our tax code. We have an out-of-control, almost an impossible to understand tax code. We see these recently in the passing of this jobs bill. One of the promises is we're going to close that tax loophole that businesses are using to send jobs overseas. Folks, the legislation wasn't designed to give them the tax loophole. There are people out there who are geniuses that find these things. So our tax system is in dire need of reform. It needs to be simplified. It needs to be something everyone can understand, and it needs to be something that only the wealthy can pay to be able to avert. You know, and I do believe in the fair tax. I think that it's an easy system to demagogue. I think people can say, you know, if you quote it as an inclusive versus an exclusive tax, you can say it's a 30% tax. But if you quote it as an inclusive tax, like you quote the income tax, I think that it makes sense. When people understand that if you add a 23% sales tax, but you eliminate all other taxes on the federal level, that could lead to a simplified tax code. And in that process, in the way the fair tax is designed, it's designed to completely eliminate the tax burden on the poor. Anyone who spends money, anyone who goes out and buys a $5 million yacht, they're going to have to pay for that purchase. Anyone who's buying the necessities of life, whether it be diapers, milk, any other type of food, they're going to get a credit every month according to the plan. Now, is it a plan that can be easily implemented? No. It's a plan that would require the implementation of a constitutional amendment that would bar adding additional income taxes on the federal government level. So it is a long-term goal, but I think that it is a well-researched goal and has been implemented and used in other places. In the meantime, I am in favor of finding any way and working in a bipartisan manner to simplify the tax code. I don't think anyone, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, is happy with the tax code. But I think that when you look at it, when you research it, and when you read it, and I encourage those people who maybe aren't fair tax proponents, take a moment to read the book, read it with a critical eye, and look at the objections. And there's nothing wrong with objecting to the fair tax, but just look at it in a fair manner. And I've read several books on the issue, and I would love to see the fair tax implemented, because I just think it would be a fair system across the board for everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Congressman Perriello, the fair tax?
Well, Senator Hurt and I have both come out against the fair tax, and I think that there are some things that are positive about it, but I ultimately cannot support it. I think the upside is simplicity and border adjustability. I think our trade issues are enormous. We have a number of things in our tax code that encourage jobs going overseas that have to be fixed. I think along with bad trade deals, we have bad tax deals that help ship American jobs overseas. We've been fighting to close a number of those, and I think it does have those upside elements. Again, I'll continue to look at any comprehensive tax reform. The analysis that I've seen that I consider the most credible suggests that to be truly revenue neutral, you would be looking at more like 35 to 40. Some people were upset when I used the 23 cents figure before, but I think that's being kind to the fair tax, not harsh on it. But again, I think that people are engaging in this debate in good faith because of a frustration with the tax code. And I think that the other thing to think about is what to do in the meantime. I think it is unlikely, as Mr. Clark has noted, that you would see this whether you're for it or against it. What we have done is, in the last years, I've supported tax cuts for 98% of Virginia families, tax cuts for small business, including forward depreciation, freeze on capital gains for small business, a quadrupling of the tax deduction for starting a small business, and the 35% tax credit retroactive to January 1 for healthcare premiums for small business. I believe that the middle class and small business owners are the ones that have been getting pinched in the system the most, and these are real tax cuts that have made a difference, and will continue to support tax relief for those. My other opponent, Senator Hurt, supported a very large tax increase in Virginia. Then he took a no-tax pledge, and now he's already endorsed policies that would raise taxes on 15,000 small businesses just in our district alone. Now, I go out and talk to small business owners, and they're not looking for that tax increase that Senator Hurd has supported. He's also come out against the outsourcing loophole, or against closing the outsourcing loophole that sends jobs overseas, and has said after 10 years of representing Southside Virginia as thousands of jobs went overseas that he didn't really have an opinion about free trade. So here, in an area that's lost so many jobs to the global economy, he has no position on trade, and he supports this outsourcing loophole that rewards jobs for going overseas. I've been delivering tax cuts for middle class and small business and making sure the tax code rewards those businesses that stick with us here in America.
Thank you.